Hey friends, welcome back to the Procrastination Solution Podcast, where we get real about what's holding you back and how to move forward with purpose, clarity, and a solid plan for success. I am your host, Nilo, and I help women just like yourself overcome procrastination for good and achieve your goals. Today, we are talking about decision fatigue and why too many choices can actually steal your focus. Have you ever noticed how easy decisions feel in the morning, but by evening, even choosing what to make for dinner feels sort of impossible? That's not laziness, that's decision fatigue. And it's one of the sneakiest ways that women lose their focus and fall into procrastination. Of course, this applies to everybody. My audience is mostly women. I coach women, and it is something that we as women deal with because our plates are always full. We have so much on our to-do lists on a daily basis. And so we're the ones who are having to tackle, all these decisions. We're the ones who are having to make all these decisions on a daily basis. So our brains are literally exhausted from making decisions by the time evening arrives. So, to be honest, by the end of some days, I don't want to make another choice. I literally have to say sometimes to my children, I'm not available, go to your father. And then he knows that I have met my quota. I need some rest time because I cannot take another question. I just need some time to myself in order to recharge a little bit, right? So there are times where I'm like, I don't want to make another choice. Not about food, not about emails, not even about what Netflix shows. And honestly, I'll just watch the same recorded episodes of Big Bang Theory on my TiVo because I'm just trying to, power down and just trying to just relax for a little bit and don't want to have to make any decisions on what I want to watch on TV. So, what happens? I can either avoid the decision completely or I make the easiest choice, which usually isn't the one that supports my bigger goal, right? And then decision fatigue in action, when your brain is so overloaded by choices, it defaults to what's convenient instead of what is meaningful. So if I have been completely exhausted from making decisions all day, and then by the end of the day, I don't want to make any decisions. I just want to relax and just watch TV. And okay, in the moment that seems relaxing, but technically that is not, because I'm still taking in information through my eyes and my ears, and I'm listening. And even though I've seen the same episodes over and over again, my brain is still processing this information. So it's the convenient choice, but it's not really a meaningful choice. The most meaningful choice for me would be to relax in silence, listen to some calming music, take a bath, or, at least, wash my face and take off my makeup and then just sit and just relax. Maybe lay down for a little bit. That's the best way to, recharge. But what we end up doing is our default is what's most convenient, which is to sit in front of the TV because that seems like the easiest thing to do in the moment, right? Not the best choice always, but you and I both fall prey to that. So, what decision fatigue is, let's talk about what decision fatigue actually is. So psychologist Roy Baumeister, he studied self-control and willpower, and then he compared it to decision making to a muscle. The more you use it throughout the day, the more it gets depleted. By the time we get to evening, our decision muscle is exhausted and procrastination becomes, almost inevitable. So his research showed that judges making parole decisions were more likely to approve cases earlier in the day and much more likely to deny them later when fatigue set in, right? That's sort of crazy when I first read that. And so our mental energy has limits, right? So this proves that our mental energy has limits. James Clear, I've recommended his book Atomic Habit to you before. He talks about he says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And this is one of my favorite quotes, right? So in other words, if you rely on willpower or constant decision making, you will lose steam. And then systems, they help you, they protect your focus, they help you throughout the day. So, thinking about decision fatigue from a, coaching stance, what if you treated your decision making power like a precious currency? Instead of spending it on what to wear or what to eat or, how to organize your inbox, you reserved it for the decisions that truly shape the big decisions that you want to make, like, that are like, needle movers in your life, right? So here are 3 things you can do to protect your focus so that you can reduce decision fatigue, okay? Number 1 is pre-decide the small stuff. So things like meal planning, laying out your outfits, creating a rotating schedule for workouts, for meals, chores around the house, how you're going to respond to different emails coming through. Maybe you can write little scripts. This is why people like Steve Jobs or Barack Obama famously wore the same outfits daily. It is to save decision power for bigger things, right? So in my house, we make sure that we save our time and energy when it matters most. So in the morning, when we are getting ready for school, and then, in the evening when we're getting ready for bed. And so many decisions need to be made for those 2 times of the day, especially. So what we do is we sort of like automate things. It's, one thing that I'm going to make for breakfast. And if my kids are like, we don't want this for breakfast, then I tell them, okay, this is what we're having for breakfast this week. Next week, we'll try something else. Most of the time, they don't care. They're just half asleep. I just try to make sure that they have something healthy, something with protein that can fuel their day. They're not into cereal and milk. I wish they were. That would make my life so much easier. So, deciding your breakfast, deciding snacks ahead of time, snacks and lunches. I give them basically the same thing every day. They haven't complained yet, which is great. Clothing, we make sure that our clothes are ready for the next day. Socks and shoes, we make sure we know where they are. And then that also applies to me. I can, even though I'm an adult, in the morning, getting ready, it's a chore. So I have to make sure that I know what I'm going to wear the next day. So I'll lay out things that I'm going to be wearing, or at least like put it to the side, hang the stuff to the side of the closet. This way I know this is what I grab and go. We're not going to make any decisions last minute, right? The next one is to automate your routines. So if laundry is always on Sundays or bills are always paid on Fridays, that's one less choice that you are having to make. And habits will remove that mental debate. Like, you don't have to debate yourself. Should I do this? Should I not do this? Do I have time for this? How much time is this going to take? Is this going to take time from the other things I have to do? Like, none of that mental chatter needs to happen when you have routines set in place. This is why we have, morning clothing ready the night before. This way I'm not running around looking for, what color socks you want to wear today. No, you wear the socks that are sitting next to your shoes that we picked out. We're not going to change the color. So automate your routines. And, apply this to every part of your life. Apply it to your business, to your home life, your own personal life. My skincare routine, for example, I know what I'm going to wash my face with, what cream I'm going to use nighttime, eye cream, all of that. Like, it's sitting right there on the shelf to my right. And that is what I'm going to use. There's no debating, even though some nights I'm super tired and I'm like, do I need to do my skincare? The answer is, we're not thinking about it. We're just doing it because this is what we do. It's like brushing your teeth. You just do it. or washing the makeup off your face. You just do it because this is what we do, right? And then you have the other tool that I wanted to share with you was you set daily priorities, okay? So Brian Tracy's book, Eat That Frog, I borrowed the, what do you call it? The audiobook from the library. Thankfully, they had that. So I listened to it it's like a 5-hour book. I listened to it on a long drive there and back. And it's an incredible book. And one of the things he talks about in this book, Eat That Frog, is if you have to eat 2 frogs, eat the ugliest one first. So pick your top 3 tasks and tackle the hardest one earlier when your brain is fresh. So set your daily priorities. If you have like 4 things that are important for the day, one of them has to be the most important thing, right? They're all important, but one of them has to be the most important. That's the ugliest frog. Take care of that first, right? Take care of that first. So set your daily priorities. These 3, tools, these 3 tips will help you reduce decision fatigue. I promise you. Apply this to your life this week, apply it to your life for 2 weeks, for the rest of September, and then let me know in October, like, what do you think? I promise you, decision fatigue will be reduced just by applying, at least like one of the tools. You don't even need to do all 3, right? So, it's September. This fall focus isn't just about managing your time. It's about protecting your energy. When you reduce decision fatigue, you free yourself to focus on what really matters, right? Which is your growth, your peace, your purpose. So this week, choose one area of your life where you can just simplify. Maybe that's meal planning. Maybe that's creating a morning, uniform, or automating bill pay, or the way that you reply to emails. Maybe you can create a script for the most emails you receive from people. You're like, I'm having to say the same thing over and over again. Create a mini script that you can copy and paste and customize for each person. And honestly, you'll be amazed at how much brain power you get back. You'll just be absolutely amazed. Okay, so if this episode gave you a fresh perspective, share one decision you're going to simplify this week and tag me on Instagram at Nilo Burke Coaching. And I'm really hoping and praying that you'll apply these tools and reclaim your focus, because it is so important. Your time, your energy, your focus is so important. I wish you a wonderful week. Have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.